Oh, ladies,
Yes.
what is the weirdest thing about working in recovery that nobody would believe until they saw it themselves?
The weirdest thing
The
about
weirdest thing.
working in this arena
Hmm.
has been the problems I anticipated haven't come to pass, and a whole bunch that I never thought in a million years I'd have to deal with have. I
Hmm.
had no idea how many people were going to hate you for trying to save people.
Ah.
Yes. It's a very cutthroat behind the scenes thing, and that caught me off guard. And I am glad that there's been some voices that have joined saying, I think that that's not the best thing for people in recovery. And there are voices that are actively trying to change that mentality behind the scenes. So that for me has hands down been the craziest thing. That hatred I have been on the receiving end of, and it's not been from the people I serve.
Mm.
I think the weirdest for me is like you go through recovery coach training and you like do the back and forth with somebody in there and you're like you prepare yourself for the problems that people might have.
Yes.
And those are not the problems that you have.
Wait, that's not in the book.
They don't come to you with like the general, this is what I'm struggling with in recovery. They
Sure.
come to you with like some weird stuff.
Stuff that wasn't in the book.
Like I'm here to help you with your recovery. I'm not here to help you with your other issues that you have. Not dating issues,
Oh.
not your how you handle your household, not how you clean a house. Like, I mean, I can help you with some things, but just the weird things people do come to you with. I wasn't
Yes.
prepared for that.
Yes.
If addiction lies to people, what's one lie that you hear all the time that needs to be called out?
It wasn't my fault.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I say that with all the love in my heart with people that are going through it. And what I've come to realize is oftentimes when we're in this process, part of it is coming face to face with the things that happened as a result of
Yes.
using. And I understand addiction. I understand that there comes a point where it's no longer a choice that we're making. However, sometimes that mindset becomes one that's difficult to shed. And our problems and our issues are often, but it's because of them, or it's because of this, or it's somebody else's fault, or it's somebody else's problem. Because sometimes having to sit and look realistically at the reality of your life, that's a really big thing to face. I know that it was for me to sit with it with no way of blunting the emotions that are attached to it. I had to sit with the knowledge that I caused harm to my kids. I love my kids. Like, I freaking love my kids so much. And I caused harm to them. Like, we were on the roller coaster. You know, you talked about the, a lot of changes and moves. Yeah, my kids went through that. And, I get to now be on this side of it, hearing people describe what they're navigating now with their kids. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my kids had to navigate some of that stuff. Yeah, it's
Well, you know, the biggest lie that I believed when I first realized I was struggling with addiction was once I got sober, things would be easier.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And it wasn't. It was the complete opposite because once I got sober, I had to deal with all of the things that had happened, not only in addiction, right, but before that. I had to go back and realize, like, yeah, I'm not responsible for what happened to me, but I am responsible for how I deal with that.
for sure.
Because now that that drug is gone, that alcohol is gone, whatever those things are that it's gone, I'm still left with all the crap. I'm still left with me and all the things that I need to work on. Because it's not going to
Oh,
be,
there I am.
yeah, it's not going to be easy figuring out your character defects or, realizing that you're emotionally mature or realizing that, you still haven't dealt with the trauma from your past or all of the things that's still around you in life.
My favorite one though, I'm never gonna have fun again. Like I had fun.
That's a good one.
And I love, like, my biggest joy is watching the people that walk in the doors having fun. I like that we get to hear real laughter. and people just hanging out and socialize. It's why I like Friday nights being the way that it is, that it's not like an official formal meeting. And I get to watch people just being people and hanging out and laughing and learning how to have fun again. That's my favorite lie to demolish. That fun is over. I never get to have fun anymore. And it's almost like you treat sobriety and recovery like it's a punishment when it's everything but. It's your ticket to your best life and the most freedom you've ever had. You're just so consumed with that high speed, fast paced living that you do,
chaotic.
chasing that dopamine, running the whole thing that you think, man, you mistake something being exciting for being fun. Was it really fun? Those outside of those moments of, wow, that was an awesome hike. Was the lifestyle really as fun as you remember? My days of drinking weren't nearly as fun as I remembered. There was spots of
You had good times.
I thought I had a good time
days,
with
met
friends
some good people
that
but,
I had to recover from, that I had to pick up the wreckage from. No, it wasn't what I thought at all. I'm having a lot more fun now.
Another one would be that, believing in Jesus is weird or it's dorky or it's looked as not necessarily frowned upon, but it's laughed at.
Right.
I had to overcome that mindset of like when I started finding my faith and believing in God, like it took me a while to be very open about it because like I didn't want people to look at me.
That'd be a weird
Oh,
Jesus story.
yeah, like that's a big one, especially like in
Or you're going to be judgmental now.
yeah, it was either side of it, like being believing in Jesus and believing in God and living a different life. That's weird. That's dorky. It's embarrassing. Whatever the stigma is on that, that's just the biggest stigma is addiction. And I struggled with that one.
Yep. A lot of people do.
God was what got me through. God's what helped me out of my addiction
He's pretty cool like that.
because I wouldn't have.
People don't know he's cool like that.
I needed to find something different.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's just another thing to put me in a box and tell me what I can't do. No, actually, he's trying to set you free from that.
Yeah.
And that's the big lie about who God really is. He's not trying to force you into a box. He's like, come out of the box.
Or chasing you like that little duck.
Yes.
Come here, duck.
Like, and I'm like, no, as I'm running away from the very thing that would have saved my life. So,
Yes, that was a hard one for me. I mean, I still sometimes do. I'll hold back sometimes on talking about my faith because of like who I'm around or
yeah.
that's hard.
Yep. And then there was, the other things that come to mind, the lies and stuff like that, is that we self-hallucinogenics, that we're a cult, that
We are. What are you telling me?
and those
Stop
things
telling me we're not.
I love that we approach that with humor, though. I mean, is that not the best way to deflect? Somebody could mean it as a negative. If you go back at them with negative, you just got more negative.
You lose.
I prefer having shirts that I drank the Kool-Aid or, just own it and have fun with it. And that's been my biggest lesson is I've learned how to fight back very differently.
You just be kind.
Or I just don't respond. Read that drives people nuts when you don't respond.
Noted.
Noted. What's more dangerous in recovery? Isolation, bad influences, or overconfidence?
Overconfidence.
I would think isolation. That was what for me.
I was going to go with that one, and then I realized what overconfidence has done too. But I'm okay now. But I'm good now.
Yeah.
But I'm.
I don't need to go to the meeting. I don't need to plug in the community. I'm recovered.
I'm strong enough in myself now.
Well, yeah, the isolation ones where they just don't go to meetings.
Sure.
They don't try.
Yeah.
They don't reach that point in recovery where they can be happy.
But sometimes, though, the ones that I find tend to retreat to isolation tend to stay in sobriety. Like they don't move into recovery, but they tend to, if you truly are choosing isolation, you're not out and about running with the friends that you used to and in that. So unless they're literally flocking to you, You're not with them. Yes, you're getting sad. Yes, it's depressing. Yes, it's lonely. But you tend to just really retreat. And then you're the white knuckle. I'm being sober. And yes, relapse is so possible. I have
I guess
found
it
that
depends on the drug.
it certainly does.
Because I mean, drinking and having a fun time, you don't want to isolate. You want to have fun with people.
So I drank a lot at home alone in isolation because I was sad. So there is danger for sure. And I was going to go with isolation first. That was
What
my
was the
first
third one?
answer.
What was the second one?
Second one is bad influences.
It's not helpful, but
I think the other two are stronger.
What if it's bad influences when it comes to your significant other?
Mm.
that's a
Because
rough place to be.
I struggled because, like, even when I was sober, and I love recovery, I was chairing the meetings at the MAC. Like, my significant other at the time was still using, and I really thought like I could get him clean, and I ended up using before he got me clean.
Yeah.
Or before I got him clean. So like,
Yeah. This is a tricky one to answer because I think it's very circumstance related depending on where you're coming from and what got you to where you're at. I think this one, just the surprise thing, I'm like, it's the ones that are overconfident and have that ego about it. I did it. I can do it. I got this. It's the I people that have the hardest time in recovery. Like you have to humble. You have got to humble yourself. Like it or not, I don't like humbling.
no, it sucks.
I don't like it. It was the best thing I ever did was to knock my ego off the pedestal. I don't have this. I don't care that I'm, oh, well, you run this outreach thing and you pastor a church and you have, I also have really crappy, hard days where a drink still every once in a while, just like, that would just take an edge off. But I'm not isolated. I don't have bad influences in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I don't allow my cocky self-confidence to get in line, that will keep me in line when it's hard.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to depend on where you're at.
In the person. Because you can be
All of
isolated
them
and
are
use
bad.
and nobody's going to know or care.
Mm-hmm.
The isolation, you don't have community to call you on and shit.
It was like yesterday, one of our participants said she didn't know that there was an option outside of being sober.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
she just thought,
Didn't know
okay,
recovery
my
was
option
separate.
is either using or just not using. I didn't know that there was this life and recovery and all these good things that can come
There's
with
such
that.
a drastic difference. And I never, ever, ever take away from how amazing sobriety is. I mean, that's a huge thing for people that have been in it and, just paid the prices left and right. Sobriety is beautiful. But it breaks my heart to see people because if you choose to just do sobriety, and I say just do, and I don't mean it as a bad thing, you're just going to be fighting all your life. Because you haven't gone the next step where you're addressing the reason it ever began in the first place. I recognize that I had a huge benefit because I was addressing the root of my trauma before I quit.
Healing.
I was healing before. I didn't have to do that after. I'm deeply grateful. I do not know if I would have got through the rawness of it initially, because you were there when I'm just navigating this hard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much different my recovery would have been if I had to do that all raw from start when I had given it up. I have come to believe that healing the root of the trauma that caused this is the most important piece of the game. And it so often gets overlooked by just a basement meeting because it doesn't have the option to go deeper, to get personal, or to care at that level. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, recovery's gotten pretty big over the last 10 years. I mean, my first time in rehab was back in, I think, 2016, 2017, but it was just rehab. And I was put on Suboxone, then I went home. And, I mean, I knew there were NA and AA meetings, but other than that, I had stayed sober for quite a while. And this last time, after my relapse of years, when I went to rehab, then I went to sober living, and I actually got to see like what recovery was, because it
you
was
got
like
a glimpse of
it was
it.
a community. Yeah.
That can be the hardest thing to learn to be comfortable in, because I found I couldn't let my guard down and trust people when I was actively drinking and using all the time. Like, I was in vulnerable positions. And I think whether you think about that or not, it's like there is an awareness that I'm dulling my senses and I'm in this vulnerable thing. So you're on this weird kind of alert as you're just getting sloppier and sloppier. But
You think your senses are up.
yeah,
And you're just,
yeah. And so just trusting people, you just don't, because you're not getting to know them either. You're just navigating and operating in the same space as people, but you don't know them. They don't know you.
very
You
surface
just
level.
very, yeah. So that's, I think, for a lot of people, a reason why initially someone will come and they're like, they step away because it's overwhelming.
It is. It's very
That
overwhelming.
if you're thinking, oh, I'm just a meeting, and all of a sudden, like, they really care about my life and want to know me. And yeah, you have to be ready. You have to be ready for the recovery aspect. So go, sobriety. Like, get sober, fight for that. It's an amazing thing. But I want to scream to the world, that's not all that's there for you.
No.
It's so much better in recovery. As good as being sober is, because we know that in our black and white minds, it's good being sober.
Yeah, you can be a mom,
But
you
it's
can you
hard
can be
to
there for
live
your
that
kids
way.
and get a job, and
Yeah.
but you're just going through the motions.
You know, I can't use.
Do you want to be happy, or do
Yes.
you want to be?
Just exist.
Yeah.
Saying I can't, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, great. Oh, that was a great answer.
You know, next time we're gonna be over there, and you're gonna be sitting here. We're gonna ask
I'm
you
good.
questions.
We've
I'm
got
good.
questions.
We didn't say the topic. You know.
I'm good.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
We're a recovery community center. We have recovery coaches here available for free for appointments or conversations at any time. What is one thing that people think recovery coaches do all day that is completely wrong?
Ooh. You want to take this one?
I think that recovery coaches are more approached as, you are going to be the one that's going to tell me how I'm going to solve all my problems.
Yeah.
Coaching involves, I am going to help you realize the skills that you have as we work out the course that your recovery is going to take. People in recovery, we're wired, I can say that because I'm one of them, we're wired for an immediate, quick result, like we want it now.
Yeah.
What do you mean this is going to take time? You're just fix this. Tell me how to fix this.
I gotta work.
You
on
know,
this.
what A, B, and C? Just give me A, B, and C. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It means you don't just come once or twice and all of a sudden you get it. That means you're committed to a process of working with somebody who's going to get to know you, so we can break things down in a way where you can clearly see this is where a problem is, so we can work and address that. Because you have to figure those things out. You have to learn, who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I without using? What are my morals and ethics? What's important to me? What are my boundaries? What are my goals? What are my dreams and hopes? And part of that for me when I'm with somebody is like, what are things that don't work well for you? I hated the AA meeting in the basement. And everybody's cranky and it's just a bunch of, okay, so that doesn't work for you. Some people it does. So what would work for you? You know, they need to have an understanding of what they want. They can't come to you and say, well, you did it, so tell me how you do it, and I'll do it the same way. It doesn't work that way.
No.
I think it's the quick fix and $20. We're an ATM also, which
Yeah, that part.
it happens sometimes. But that's not a recovery coach role. I can't fix your financial.
I have found
Stuff.
it's dumping all of your problems, or coming and just like unloading on me with your attitude or your anger or all the things. Robert had said it best the other day, like, I will meet you where you're at.
Yes.
But we're not sitting there. We're not staying here. We're not getting in that market with you. I'm not gonna, fan the flames of your anger. I'm not gonna deal with anger. I'm not gonna deal with jumping on me.
Right.
It's okay to show up how you are. Please, I will meet you where you're at.
Right.
But I'm also not here to bring you to just dump on and be mean to you or like.
Right.
That's
We're
not a
not
thing.
here to be a doormat because you can't take it out on who you want to.
You're right.
I think that's, going to be the one thing with being a drop-in center and people being able to come at any time. It's not like, sometimes there may be a scheduled set time where people know at this time this week I'm going to sit with Stacy and talk. But we also operate where people just walk in because they are having that kind of a day. So we are in that unique position, though. It's not cut and dry and it's not black and white. That we often have to sit with people as they are going through a crisis. And it doesn't matter what we think. It may not be a crisis to us in our particular life, but my crisis may not be yours. We have to be willing to meet them and understand for them, this is a crisis and they need guidance. So my biggest thing is I can't fix this and make it better, but I can sit with you and try to work out what will become a solution for you and how that's going to look in your life. But we have to be ready on the fly all the time without knowing what is going to walk into this space. And it's why the listening skills, like listening to understand is the best gift you can give somebody. It's like, I'm just going to sit and I'm going to listen and hear. I'm taking notes, not because I want to share them with anybody, but it helps me to understand and figure out exactly where you're at, what you're asking for, because sometimes we assume they're wanting something, but it's really not. Like, do you want a coach or do you want a sponsor? Very different things. We need to find out, what are you actually looking for and what do you want? And are you truly ready to do the work? Because it's going to be work. Yeah. It's not easy. We do it different here. I think everybody who is able to, that has gone through sobriety and is in their recovery, would benefit from taking the class, whether they intend to work as a recovery coach or not, because it's helpful to self. I have found that it's helpful to self. But just in your interactions, if you are operating in communities, it makes you better able to navigate the things that happen. Because, let's face it, is there drama?
Absolutely.
It's just, drama is a normal thing. It's what happens when a community of people that are chasing dopamine. Drama is going to be part of things.
Well, it's just because you take the recovery coach classes, I find out I've seen it too many times where you've taken the recovery coach classes, but you're not working a recovery coach program. I think that's got to go hand in hand.
I agree.
That has to.
Completely.
Yeah, I always had a hard time understanding if you've never worked a program or if you've never even looked into other programs.
Familiar, how do you help
Right.
people?
How can you coach them into what's going to be best for them? You just have one lane.
Well, you're not working on yourself. That's where I fall in it. Like where it's like you're not willing to better yourself if you're not looking at your own character defects and humbling yourself. Like you're not. How are you going to help anybody else? It's okay to like take the classes and have the. Have that behind you.
But you can't use that as your recovery.
No.
These are just useful tools and they're good reminders.
Absolutely.
It is, just because you've taken a peer recovery class and you've got that certificate, doesn't mean that outreach would hire you, because we believe very much that your actions and your life have to back up what you've learned in here. How are you going to be able to guide somebody as they're trying to find a recovery program if you don't know anything about them?
When I've seen recovery coaches realize.
Oh, yes.
They fall.
Yes.
They're humans.
Just as human as the people.
That's a good one.
That's why they're called peer.
People come here and they expect us to know everything, but we are human too. We have our flaws, we have our character defects, and we're working a program.
Yes. Yeah. It's why we have a requirement that if you're going to operate here at Outreach in a peer recovery coach role, we have to see you living a recovered life. For the safety of the people coming to talk to you, doesn't that seem logical?
It does seem logical. The other statistic that I remember Tobias shared was if people in early recovery, they have an 85% better chance
Think
of
that,
getting to
85%.
5 years.
Think about that.
I know.
85%.
85% better chance of getting to 5 years of sobriety if they just get a recovery coach.
I know. It's
Why wouldn't
remarkably-
I'm like, there should be a recovery coach paired with every person in recovery. You
I wonder
know?
what that looks like because, you know, you have the whole, only 2% of people that use meth
Sure.
recover. I don't think that's true. Not with how big recovery is getting.
I don't think so either.
And I think there's a lot more of us
Yes.
now. And I think
Yes.
that there's a lot more of us that are talking about it out loud.
Well, recovery is becoming a much more talked about thing, and it's not a hidden
No.
thing. Like, we're not hiding in the corner in shame
No.
anymore. Like, I'm freaking proud of my recovery. I love, like, I got my life back,
Yeah.
and I get to live this amazing, beautiful life. Why don't you want that for everybody? I mean, why wouldn't you want that for everybody?
And before, like, it was just NA and AA meetings.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, but like, NA wasn't very big. And being a recovering drug addict, heroin and methamphetamine were not things that AA were wanting to talk about. The men in there were very
I know.
alarmed. Let's use the word alarmed.
I've gotten told this is the wrong meeting. You can't talk about that here. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
Bill W. was cross addicted.
I know.
So,
I mean, like,
I struggle so much. I'm grateful that I took some time and I really learned a lot about the origins of AA and what it came from, because the way it operates right now today isn't what it was intended to be. It was never intended to be this super close, clicky, our way or the highway, because if you read the sacred big book that I hear about all the time, you're not even doing what the book is saying, and you're not treating others who have a different pathway with the respect and the acceptance that your beloved big book says that you should have. For people, I understand that for some it has worked beautifully, and I can be very frank and say if that was the only option available to me, I would have preferred to sit and drink.
yeah.
Because the way I'm wired, don't sit me in the basement of a church, a trauma bit for somebody like me,
With a bunch of men.
sitting there being angry and telling me how worthless I am. Do you know where I came from? Now I'm in a church basement, once again being told I'm a piece of shit, worthless individual.
Well, and I never, in any AA meetings I went to, I never watched them do the back to basics. I never heard about it. I never even knew that existed until here when I did the back to basics. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And that's how they're meant to be done.
Nobody should be on step 4 for a year.
No, and I went on it I was on it for 6, I think.
Oh.
Pretty sure I was on step first, 6 years, something like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, that just shouldn't be the case. And why is it? Because you're not known and
You had
nobody's.
no idea.
You go back, it's a new person. So now we do that whole thing. And I'm like, what about my recovery?
Yeah.
Like, what about me, mine? And now it sounds so much like I am trashing AA.
No.
I'm not.
Let's be
It
real.
works
It does work.
for some
And it's great to
people.
have the meeting. It's great to have the
Yes.
talks. And there's a lot of old timers that have helped me in my
Yes.
recovery.
Love you, Dave.
Especially, there's one that has been amazing to me.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
if I would have found him earlier in the meetings,
Yes.
that'd have been very beneficial.
It
for
would
me.
have been
But,
so helpful.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's just a select few, like we were shunned from there. And I didn't.
Right. And I can't say that that is the fault of AA.
No.
That is the fault of human beings who decided they wanted to take control and decide what it's going to look like, and then caused harm to people and made them feel excluded and unwelcome at a time when people are most vulnerable and need connection. I don't care what brought you into the door or what kind of addiction you have, you should be glad that they're there. Maybe somebody could talk afterwards and see maybe there's something that's a better fit. But to just sit and exclude you from the gate,
And I think for females, it was a big struggle because we didn't ever find those ladies that had been there long term for a sponsor.
Right.
I struggled finding one in Greenville. I struggled finding a sponsor in Lansing. I struggled finding one in Grand Rapids because there wasn't females that had long term sobriety. So like even at
or
the
they
tables,
weren't talking about it.
I mean, or they just weren't. They didn't want to be a sponsor Because I don't even know if they've done the back to basics or the steps or who knows. Maybe maybe those meetings kept them sober, you know? But like they were willing to be a sponsor.
And was AA really intended, like you're going to sit at this table and read the same stuff for the rest of your life? Was that really how it's intended to be? Like the same thing over and over and over? And I say that only for this reason. Think of the Lord's Prayer. Are people even thinking about the words they're saying? No. It's just something you've memorized and you said a million times. Are you even
Like the promises.
thinking about it?
Like the AA promises.
It's just like a parrot. I can repeat this. You know, stand up at the end and say the Lord's Prayer. I'm like, we're freaking going to God, the creator of heaven himself. Do you know what you're saying to him?
I'm doing like and I hate to say it like this, but a lot of people around the table struggle with who their higher power is.
For sure.
But they're saying that Lord's Prayer at the end of it.
I never
they don't even believe in God.
understood that. You say you're not this, but you close it with the Lord's help. We don't understand that because it seemed like such a clash. And then again, I really struggled. Like, you're just repeating words because that's what you do.
I do love the Trinity. The Trinity prayer is probably my favorite thing about it. And I do like the Just for Today's that they come out with. Yeah. That's been like NA. Yeah. The books that NA or AA's always had, you know, the little, I went to rehab that first time. My dad sent me with that. I think they were like 1974 little.
Oh,
like,
the little ones?
little books. Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
So didn't they rewrite it in modern today's language, the big book?
We got some here.
They written for today's. And I think
check out one of those movies out.
that it's important. It's like I see, can I say this? Like,
Well, and the NA Big Book is a big thing too, because there's a lot of stories in there that I definitely can relate to. And the NA Big Book, I mean, it's the same basic principles, the same basics, the steps and all the things, but it's different than the AA Big Book.
I think just like always through history, things have evolved and been changed to best match society as it is. Yeah. There is a reason we're not reading 1700 style writings because nobody talks like that or writes like that. It's like demanding to use the King James or demanding to only use the original AA Big Book because any modern whatever is some kind of abomination. And I'm like, no, what it is, if you refuse to change and move, I see it as gatekeeping. You're forcing people to believe that they're too ignorant to understand something and that they have to come to you because you're the only one that can have the knowledge. And it's not how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Like, you should be talking to people in the language that they understood. It'd be like me sitting down for a peer recovery coach meeting and all of a sudden I'm talking Portuguese. Like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you understand this? If you want to get it right, you're going to have to talk like this. No,
or speaking clinically in a peer recovery
not
coach.
Going to happen.
Right.
We'll not do clinical here. If anybody wonders, Stacy, if you want clinical in here, I don't do clinical here.
Look at me.
I dare you. No clinic. We don't do clinical. No billing. No insurance. No show me your card. No pay to heal. I can't do it.
So how are services paid for?
With smiles, Robert. With
We applied for grant funding and we are very reliant on people's generosity and donations. And when you do things and do things well and you have positive and proven results and people can see that people are thriving and getting better, that's why we have so many people who regularly send money in support. They don't have an addiction or a problem at all, but they're seeing something happening that they want to support. I would love to get to the point where we are completely self-funding. I don't want to rely on grants. I don't want to rely on the government. I don't want to rely on any of this. I just want to meet people where they are and help them. Yeah. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do this. And now we start getting the insurance billing involved. What happens? How much does it cost for how much does it cost for an appointment that you bill to insurance, and how much for people who
I guess it
don't have
depends on who
self-pay?
you are and who's billing. To be honest with you, I've heard a lot. Um, I've heard a lot of awful things about certain services and certain places about how they're billing somebody's insurance for something, but giving it to somebody else, or they're overcharging because somebody has state
shocked.
insurance.
It
and
was
then
how much? $400 and some dollars
for his,
for
yes.
one appointment because they had insurance, private insurance.
Yes.
But if you don't have insurance, it's $35. So tell me that we're not getting ripped off.
Or
The taxpayers paid for this.
the Medicaid, when they first got their Medicaid, the comment was made about how, well, since you have Med, well, we're gonna flood the insurance right now, because when you lose it, we're gonna have to pay cash. But your cash appointment's like $50, $35, whatever. But I just know there's a lot of
It just seems, it doesn't feel good.
no, it doesn't.
I don't ever want to be a place that's doing this because we're chasing the money. I'm not doing
It's
this
corrupt.
because I'm
It
chasing
is,
the
and
money.
it's corrupt. You get to that point, and you become a place that just rushes people through the beds, or pushes people throughout the door. I got
You've
another
seen-
appointment.
yeah.
You go from one appointment to the next.
Because every head is a dollar sign. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. What incentive is there for people to get well when you know it'll dry up your money?
Yeah.
Why do big entities who sit way over any of us small little organizations, why in the world is there an incentive for people to heal and get well when that will dry up all the money you make on them?
Yeah.
Because I think of how much money dropping for testing, your mental health, your, you got to blow in your thing. You got to,
If you're on paper, you're through drug court or probation or all of that. I mean, you have to check through so many hoops of paper, so many different things. It's like,
think of how many times Medicaid gets charged.
oh, Lord.
And who pays for that? The taxpayers do.
Yes.
And
nobody's
have a right to say, this is wasteful.
well. And how many people are graduating? How many people are successful? What is the success rate?
If it's not working, you shouldn't get funded. And I don't say that with hate in my heart. I'm saying that because we're not dealing in a grocery shelf item. We're dealing in human life.
Just like incarceration, like that's not working. And then I get we need to try other things, and I know why the courts created the sobriety courts and the veterans courts, and I know why they did that. They had all the kind they want to help, they want to make a difference, because it's like they have been flooded with nothing but addicts. A lot of people that are in jail are drug addicts or alcoholics. Like they're committing these crimes because they're trying to support their addiction, or because they've gotten so bad in their addiction that they are doing really effed up things. But it's just flooded. The city's flooded. The small towns are flooded. So how do you deal with all that?
Such a mess. We talk about it a lot at home. Like, where do you even start to truly make a huge difference? And then just let's look at it like big picture overview and think of places like Kensington or LA or Chicago. What do you do? And in my gut, I watch all these things, and every time we turn around and you think there's a solution or something to counter what's in the supply, it's like, isn't that amazing that there's already another one ready to go? And I sometimes really struggle with the idea that the powers that be recognize it'd be a lot cheaper if we just let them die.
Damn, yeah, it's crowd control or whatever, controlling the population. It's just, that's a whole other rabbit hole to get down.
I just
different things.
feel like so many people have basically just been written off as an acceptable loss because they're a drain on society. And I really hate that slippery slope, because that is human life you're talking about. And every human life that's on this planet has the same value.
Absolutely.
And when there are people sitting in positions of power determining your life doesn't have value, but yours does, we'll move heaven and earth to make sure you'll be okay and healthy. But you're not worth it. And I can't get behind that approach. Can't get behind that.
We're almost done.
Ooh, lay it on me.
Ooh, two more.
Okay.
Okay.
Got this.
It's not almost.
Two more.
All right. We got
This is a quick one.
Okay.
What is one sentence somebody struggling with addiction needs to hear today?
There's a lot of them, to be honest with you.
You are already more than enough.
There's thousands of them, to be honest with you,
So-
that, you know,
I'm here to believe in you until you are able to believe in you.
it does get better. It is
Right.
worth it. I mean, there's all of the
Mhm.
things, but if they're struggling in addiction right now, what do they want their life to look like in 5 years?
What are their dreams?
Yeah. Do you really want to stay where you're at?
Who are you?
How old are your children? You know, do you want to be a good parent? Do you want them to see you do good things? You know, I made the mistake of, I missed my kid's high school graduation, and I can never take that back and be there for him. But, like, if they had that chance to get better now, to be there for their kid's graduation, absolutely.
What is your why? You need to have that. Everybody has to have it. And I always recognize that it's going to be a potential struggle working with somebody if they are never on the list of reasons why.
I didn't have a why for a long time. Mine was purpose. I didn't have a purpose, and I felt that purpose.
Yep. If you're doing it for somebody else, you have to want this for you.
It's hard for people to do that when they don't feel like they're worth it. Yeah.
Build them up.
Love it. Bonus question.
Yes.
This was not a bonus question.
This
was
is the
last
bonus.
one. You said two.
Yeah, I know. This is the bonus
the
question.
bonus,
So there were
okay.
5 questions, and then here's the bonus. Be honest. Which one of you would survive longer in a zombie apocalypse here at Outreach, and why?
Because I'm just gonna be out there, like she's gonna be at a farmstead, you know, out in the middle of nowhere. Bro,
Me and Jesus got
there
this.
you go. Like, they got this.
I'll just
I
be
might be
walking
second to
around
last,
with my
but,
cross
like-
and be gone with you. I'm just gonna walk through your midst. You can't touch me in the name of Jesus.
She's gonna have her
You
own.
can't touch me, Stacy. Come here.
Yeah.
Come here. Touch her and die in the name of Jesus. Come here, Stacy.
No, you'll have your own garden. You'll have all the things.
I sure
You'll
will.
be fenced in. out
Zombie,
there.
you touch that and you will die all
gonna
the way.
electrocute
All the way.
Mhm.
Here, let me feed you.
I'll be right
I got
back.
some enemies over there. So no.
I'll be right
I'm
back.
just kidding. I'm trying to love everybody. So I'm trying so hard.
It's the trying.
I really want to love everybody.
It's all in the trying. Yeah. Any last words? Closing it out.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Find yourself a pink striped jumpsuit. It'll change your life.
And if you find a recovery coach that wears a pink stripe onesie,
So cool.
you probably found the right recovery coach.
If you can find a pastor that wears this thing, you have found church again.
I mean, Lowe's loved us.
Is that how we're going?
Lowe's
out?
loved
Is that
us
how you're
today.
going? I'm going to take yeah, there you go. Gangster. All right.
Is this our sign?
That's the sign.